So we've got Lex Divine, not Ryan. I shouldn't call you Ryan, or should I call you Lex now?
I mean, this is sort of a kayfabe breaking podcast, right? So
yeah. I mean, we're sitting next to each other on a couch, and in kayfabe, the most interaction we've ever had is him reading bullying tweets to me in front of a crowd.
Okay.
So we're not together and are not like living together in kayfabe. So.
Right, in the wrestling world. That's okay. So I'm supposed to be Italian, so and I'll have spaghetti tonight, but that's about the only thing about me that's actually Italian. Don't tell Monte from Monte and the Pharaoh. He gets so upset at that. For some reason, Monte from Monte and the Pharaoh thinks that like my pretending that I was Italian is like the most offensive thing that's ever happened in the history of wrestling. And us to.
So we have questions from fans, and I'm here to answer them. And I may blather on and on and on, but I will get to a point eventually with your help.
Like in my introductions, I will get to a point eventually. And here is the first point. I'm going to get to a question. Or actually, it's more of a statement / question. And it says, please ask Dutch. Dutch, do you know who up in New York is talking about you?
Yes. There's two answers to that, really.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, you say who, and they said nobody.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. And across the pond, my friend, Daniela. How are you, my friend?
Hi.
I don't even know if I should call you my friend anymore. You don't even call me. You don't text me. I don't even know if you exist. I only know you exist on Thursdays now. What the hell, dude?
I'm a busy woman. And listen. Texting goes both ways.
It does.
When I do respond.
I had my anniversary Monday and Tuesday, so I had to take off from work. And
How long?
25 years, a long time.
Wow.
And it's my second time, too. My first one was like a couple of years. It was quick.
Two times the charm.
Quick and painless. 3 times? No, not for this guy, buddy. Nah, I'll tell you that right now.
I know it's supposed to be 3 times the charm, but we're going to say 2 times the charm. 2 times the charm.
So, last week, you partook in an interview with Mr. Jamie Dundee, in which I thought you did an incredible job, as you always do. The internet wasn't great.
Yeah.
The internet wasn't great, as we know. But the one thing I love about you is your honesty. So we spoke after the show, and you shared some thoughts with me about Jamie. Like, I guess you guys are from not two different planets, but 2 different thought processes. So I thought you'd want to share with the family and friends, like, what you thought about the interview and what you thought about Jamie in general.
Well, the one thing I will say is I respect anyone that speaks their own truth. And I think that's where a lot of people get into a lot of battles. It's you can have your thought process, and I may differ from that, but the respect has to be that we respect our differences. I definitely didn't agree about like a couple things he was saying, and I was like, bite your tongue.
Right.
This is just one man's opinion. You're not going to knock someone for his opinion. We are 2 different generations. We are different ethnic backgrounds. I'm female, he's male. So we're gonna have differences no matter what. But I definitely think he wasn't disrespectful in his views. He wasn't trying to push his views on anyone. It was, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I think. And I respect that and I commend that. And I will always welcome a conversation like that.
You think, so we have a little separation in our ages, right? I'm a bit older than you.
Well, you said 25 years of marriage. I was 10 when you got married.
I know, that's what I mean. You could have been.
I was 11. I was 11.
You're literally this close from being an age where you could have been my daughter, actually. Like you're just
true.
right there. Is it your generation that has a more open-minded view? I think for my generation, it's like, hey, if you don't agree with something, the shit's on, right? But I was pleasantly surprised how you handled that, because I could see your face, but is that just the way your generation
is?
Is
Easy to read? No, I think I know in my experience as a mother, just like some of the things that my child says to me. So we'll go with my teenager. I would never have the balls to try to have a conversation with my parents, and let alone my grandparents. And it's nothing bad. It's some of it's just like, hey, I'm dating someone who's transgender. And it's like, wait, what? Okay, good for you. And I try to be as open-minded and because I feel like the more open my generation is, I feel like the less trouble. Even though we have social media and everything like that and those things, we have all eyes on us at all times. I've noticed with how I parent my children, because I've been so transparent about my downfalls or my shortcomings or the things I've gotten into or, whatever, it has literally strayed them away from the curiosity of it. Comparison to my parents, weren't open, weren't honest, and then I was like, well, I know nothing about this. I want to find out on my own. So I do think that with the generation differences, I do feel we have to be a lot more open-minded with my generation as parents, especially. And you kind of just are like rolling with the punches, like, don't react, just let it marinate for a little bit, kind of comprehend it, and then we'll deal with it after we've digested that. Like, my mom was like a reactor, and my dad was a reactor. Like, you didn't say something like that without some type of like backlash or consequence or like. So with me, I'm just like, okay, let me think about it. Can I ask some questions? Like,
right.
And then I've learned that it's I've gotten great kids because of it. Doesn't mean my parenting's for everyone or my generation thinking is for everyone, but I've learned that if you speak once, listen twice, you learn a lot more, and that's what I value.
Yeah, I think I got to work on some marination and some digestion, right? So that's not a bad idea. I could probably use that in my life. I'll get to some.
Now you have me. I balanced that for you now.
Yeah, you are a little balance. Real quick. You got your ass knocked off of Twitter. We all know
oh
that.
My God.
You got a mouth both on real life, in person, and social media. As we get past your former boyfriend, because we're putting that in the rearview mirror, we decided that we're not looking at it. We're moving on. Monte and the Petro show. But the one thing I do want to cover, there's a podcaster that you mentioned to me that you actually listened to his show. Anthony DeBlasi. He goes by the name of Don Tony. Now, I'll personally tell you, I think he's a pretty good podcaster. He does a good job. He knows wrestling much more than I do, that's for sure. I think he does,
too, when he might have the proper information given to him, but that's just me.
Well, talking about this, he's certainly on Team Misha Montana, right? She went on his show, and that's where he's rolling. And I'm on Team Petro, right? I mean, that's just the way it is, right? But
I feel like even when you did my interview, you didn't do any favoritism with the questions. I mean, the one thing, one of my friends was watching it, and she was like, I can't believe he would ask you that. Like, that makes you look like such a bad parent. I'm like, no, he asked me, okay, you're a single mom. who the fuck's watching your kids when you're like with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate thing. Like, yeah, it doesn't make me look like the parent of the year, but that's not favoring me. And that's where I feel that you may be team me now, but you were asking genuine questions. You weren't asking questions that would make me look better in the public eye. And that's where you differ from him. He was up that girl's alien vagina, kissing ass, schmoozing to just get a foot in the door with a WWE wrestler. So that's where I don't feel like he is a great at reporting things, because it's a biased, blind opinion. Instead of just generally being like, hey, this may be an ugly question, but what about these girls? How do you feel about them? Or, you know, why are you having an opinion on something that you physically weren't there for? Why not just opinion your thoughts and views and your experience on what you've been through with Matt? So I don't like him.
No, you know what? That's a good point. You know, when you came on the show, like any guest that comes on, I'm going to ask the question, the real type of questions. And if you want to answer them, you answer. If you don't, you don't. I certainly wasn't headhunting you on the interview. I just had an actual question.
No, but you weren't holding back.
No.
Just asking blatant. Sometimes that put a light on me. It did. It make people like, oh yeah, where were your kids? You know, like, but that's a genuine question.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an honest, like, no bias, no sides, no like favoritism question. Where that's just one example, but you did a couple of them. You both did, and that's what I respected about you.
Well, that I appreciate that, and we respected that you answered it honestly too, which was fantastic. I want to get to our guest. I want to just ask you this one question. It happened about a couple weeks ago. Hulk Hogan got married, his third marriage. His daughter's name is Brooke Hogan. Brooke Hogan did not go to the wedding, and I'll just read this comment. And as being a daughter yourself and a mother, this is what she wrote, and I want to know what your opinion is. And by the way, Hulk Hogan is definitely marrying women much younger than him.
Oh, I know his son very well.
All right. Oh, do you? I want to hear that. You didn't tell me that. As we all experience this with our own families, the dynamics of the family unit continuously change over the years. As a singer and an entrepreneur, I have to do myself. Thoughts?
Well, one, that family is very known in Tampa. It is. His son has DJ'd a bunch of times. That's actually how I met him. At a nightclub I used to work at. One of my clients is actually best friends with Hulk Hogan's son. Yeah, when I asked him, I was like, hey, I heard you got remarried. They were just even like, yeah, we went. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, but that's also me as a woman. I just don't understand. I mean, I'm growing accustomed to the lifestyle in Tampa. I've only lived here about 7 years. But it is a older men, younger woman. It is a very sugar daddy area. I'm considered a classic car. These girls are Teslas. Like, you know, they want the newer models. They don't want the classic, you know, horsepower. So it's like, we're a mating breed. I am that old lady from Titanic because of my age.
Oh my God.
I'm the one throwing the diamond in the water right now. I am so old in Tampa years. So that's probably why she's that young and has a daughter who's probably older than the wife now. I don't know if I want to be there because I'm not trying to babysit my dad's like new child. Like, I grew up, Dad. I'm not babysitting anymore. I'm sorry.
Do you think that's a problem though? A man dating someone so young like that?
I mean, I don't think it's a problem, but it's like, why? That's like, we're gonna go on a little bit of a religion thing. So a lot of my family has experienced Muslims. But that's like, you die, you get 12 virgins. Why the fuck do I want 12 women that don't know what the fuck they're doing? Like, in my personal opinion, I want 12 wars. Like, I want a chick that knows what she's doing. So it's like, why do you want someone that young? Is that a grooming thing? So you can mold her the way that you ideally would want? But if you look at the standards too nowadays with the age, I got wifed up at 21. He was 10 years older than me. And then you start getting to where you're at as a woman, and then you're like, this is not what I want.
And not only that, like, what do you have in common with that age difference? Or what are you talking about? Seriously. All right, you brought up the Titanic. Quick question. We got to get to our guest. Is Rose the biggest bitch in movies?
You really think that? I don't think so.
Dude, she left the dude to freeze and die. She didn't even say, okay, let's rotate. You get on the boat. I'll go in the water. Let's rotate around. She just let the dude freeze and sink to the bottom of the ocean. You can't get... And after she cheats on her husband. How bad can you get? How is that a face? She's a heel of heels.
Well, technically, she was getting married for the money because her family was losing the money. I guess, if I remember the movie correctly. But I'm just saying, chivalry's not dead. You want me to stay up here? By all means, I am staying up here. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
You served your purpose.
Well, you just told me if we go on a trip to fucking Iceland, I ain't getting on a fucking boat with you. That's it.
But isn't it opposite? I don't know if I'm just being a blonde right now. I thought Iceland was, like, warm.
All right. November 11th in studio, cheerleader Melissa joins us and Paul London. Look forward to that. I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monte and the Pharaoh. Own Jimmy Pharaoh, along with his partner Bart Griggs, makes the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Hit that like and subscribe. Spotify, Apple Music, Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, you are watching the world's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. And why is that? Because Jim Beam says so. Catch us on the YouTube Monte the Pharaoh page, Facebook Live, Monte the Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, the Twitch TV Monte and the Pharaoh page, Channel 115 if you're lucky enough to live in New York, every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. and 11:30 a.m., and Channel 20 at Tuesdays at 7 p.m., where 150,000 people watch us weekly. But, Daniela, according to that prick from Twitter, we've only got 600 followers, so... we're full of shit.
Oh, don't. I was watching another podcast that was like, they need to take off that Jim Beam advertisement. They might get sued. I'm like, I know they did not just accuse us of stealing a Jim Beam ad.
I know. Fuck them, man.
Like,
you know what?
Are you kidding me right now?
I'll be showing the cash in about another week or so, and then we'll see if we need to take that shit down. If also,
Capoli, we got Jim Beam. We ain't stealing nothing.
That's it, baby. We're also on something called Intuitive, IN2UTIVE. It's a free app. It's a Netflix type of application, and the important part of it, it's free. It's got documentaries, it's got movies, it's got comedy, and it's got Monte and the Pharaoh as the head of Intuitive. So, guys, if you haven't done it already, download it. It's for free. In fact, I'm going to bother Brett about it when he comes on. We'll be right back with actor, social influencer, bodybuilder, Brett Azar.
I'm excited!
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
You know, have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These
Wow.
caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So
big-
Manscaped is
You-
a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to
Oh,
go
I
do the
know
deed
where-
on a
I
woman,
know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to
Wow.
wander into that.
That's
thought
very
of it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that. You're a
Wow.
smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured,
Yeah,
you can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that
I
landing?
just don't. I don't want. I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh, look
but-
what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
I found it! I found
Have
it!
you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
What is
retro? Just,
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa!
Wow,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
like
46,
it
of
pops
course.
out?
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's a
through.
trooper.
Yeah.
He's a trooper. Gotta give him an A.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you
no,
go.
I hear you.
There you
Listen,
go.
I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say it. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
But
only
with that,
Ron
we're going to take a
Jeremy,
quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick. All right, welcome back to the world's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and Pharaoh. Welcoming one of my favorite people, Brett Azar. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys?
You're looking good,
Yeah,
bro. You're looking good.
You guys are cracking. You're cracking me up. I love you guys. I love this new partnership you got going.
You know what? My
He's
partner
gorgeous.
Jimmy moved to Florida, but my partner went from a 5 to a 10. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we got to discuss this. You said you're a classic car. Like, you got to make sure you're the high performance show car, classic car. Just so you know.
Well, in
Like, you're
Tampa,
not
Tampa, I'm like a
the
Mustang,
wacky-
like 1960.
You're the full muscle. Like, when you roll into the car show, everyone's looking at you, kind of classic.
You need to stop.
Just so
I
you
heard
know.
you just got married. You need to stop that.
Oh, I love my wife very much. She'll be home soon. I got that one in before she got home.
I'll be
Yeah.
sister wife soon.
No, I'm a good boy. I'm a good husband.
Listen, you're miles away. Nothing bad could happen.
In my
Maybe.
thoughts, they can.
Oh, wow. Brett, real quick
Cool
before
down.
we start this interview. Oh, my God. Before we even start this interview, fan out there, Matthew Holland, is asking. He's a huge fan. Can you just give him a quick shout out?
Matthew, you bloody punk. I don't break your back because you watch me on Monte and Pharaoh. Yes, Papa.
There's the Iron Sheik.
There he is.
It's there. It's always there.
I love it. Can I see your abs?
No, I'm off season.
Can I see them?
There are no abs right now. We're not filming. It's the actor's strike. I've been taking it easy. Little too much Netflix and ice cream going on right now.
You're overheating the car there, Brett. Take it easy.
Yeah, my engine's revving.
Get some cooling on there. Get fill that radiator up.
Blowing a
Brett.
gasket.
Brett, let's get the family and the fans up to date on what's going on with Brett Azar.
The acting world is crap right now because of the actor's strike, but stay strong, support, a good reason. So nothing filming, but I've been going on Fox News a bit. randomly. Ran into a host, Jimmy Fallon, and he had me on his podcast, and now I do a regular spot on his podcast every Tuesday at 2 o'clock on Punks Across America. And we just talk, like, you know, no sides or anything. We just talk what's stupid in America and what's going on. I got dogs.
I love
Quiet,
it.
Bruce. But yeah, that's what's going on. And then they had me on like Saturday night, the Saturday Night Fox News special on TV, which was finally got on TV.
So since you're speaking about that, obviously you're into the state of what's going on with this country right now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about our present regime and the state of the United States?
It's it's a great soap opera. It's very entertaining, and it shouldn't be. There's a lot that should be getting done that's not, and we're gonna need someone else in power to change that. Right? I know.
Amen to that.
I second that, sir. I also want people and my partner to know. Tell us the Brett Azar story growing up, and tell us a little bit about your parents.
Oh, the real life shit.
Real life.
So let's get right into it. My father murdered my little sister. I grew up without a father figure. I grew up in therapy thinking that everyone thought I was going to be this psycho kid who witnessed his sister murdered by his father. My mother and I had to go live with my grandparents. My grandfather was never around. He was a traveling salesman. So my father figure was his Arnold Schwarzenegger movie collection. And basically my whole life, I wanted to grow up and be the Arnold hero, the body, the role model, the good guy, the whole package. I lived that. I had Arnold on my wall my entire life. And then, lo and behold, my acting career starts, and the biggest thing that hits is I become Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I become a Terminator in the movies. So for me to have that connection with Arnie now, and I've written articles, and Arnold shared my story about how he is so much more than just an iconic actor and who he is, but he's driven my life in a way that I cannot be more grateful for. You know, there's a special connection to that for me.
I gotta say that alone is a huge honor, because honestly, I remember watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary, and he couldn't even find a stunt double for Conan and all that. So I saw that you were his stunt double for the Terminator movies and everything else. So kudos to you. Like, that is huge.
The coolest thing is the bragging right behind it is because when I got hired to be the young Arnold, they didn't put me as a body double. They didn't put me as a stunt double. They casted me in the movie under the role, the young Terminator T-800. So it's me and Arnie that can say they are the Terminator. Technically,
no, that's honestly that's a huge accomplishment.
For a meathead actor, I'm done. Like, I could have stopped there and been happy with my life. You know,
Brett, would it be fair to say that you got into bodybuilding though as a retaliatory thing against your father?
Not retaliatory, just I wanted. I was driven to be the Renaissance man. That the full package kind of guy that I wanted to aspire to be. It wasn't retaliatory. It was more of, I'm going to prove that this guy messed up, and I'm going to make him regret it. Kind of deal. You know, he doesn't deserve to share in my success, and I'm going to succeed without this criminal in my past.
I have have a question. I tragically lost my daughter when she was 2. As a sibling of seeing something so traumatic, I know that your father murdered your sister. My daughter tragically drowned, and my son saw him. How do you think you dealt with that throughout the years? Did you have any blame as a child for being the brother, supposed to be the protector type of thing? Like, I'm actually very curious because I've always tried to get in my son's mind.
Yeah, I get what you're asking, but I was too young to even do anything about it. So there was nothing, like, I wasn't fully comprehending what was going on for a few years anyway. What gets me through it, or what got me through it, through the hardest mental and emotional parts of it, was my mom. Knowing that my mom went through this, lost a daughter, lost a husband, lost a life, and she raised me to be the success that I consider I am. She's the strongest person in the world, and for her to go through that, I'm nothing. Like, she experienced it as a full adult and fully comprehending what happened, you know. So for her to be my hero, that's what got me through. You know, if you can live through that and
Make me cry too early.
You know, it'd be she didn't, you know, she could have shut down her life instantly that day, and she refused. You know, she fought back, and we're both living successful, happy lives, and it's all her.
Oh, that's good to hear.
You're right there, Dan. She keeps crying. Every episode she cries, dude. Every episode.
Oh, you have such emotional guests. They make me cry.
Man, and this is like following the Manscaped ad and shit, you know?
Very funny.
We can go to talking about my overgrown bush. I'm okay with that.
All right, you got your composure there, kiddo?
I got it. How's my makeup look?
You look good. Keep it going. Keep it going, class.
All right.
God, you were you're an all-rounded, like, humble. You went through a lot, and look at you now. Look at you. You
make you humble, brother.
Make you humble. Brett, I'm assuming you've got some ethnicity in your background, right?
Ethnicity.
All right. Well, okay. Thanks for the correction. You're fired.
You gotta have the ethnic pick to tell you how to say ethnicity.
What is Brett Azar's thoughts of racism in the United States today?
It's garbage. You know, there's two types of people in the world. There's idiots and smart people. And idiots are the ones who believe that there is race, age, sexual discrimination, and all that other bullshit. I have no patience for it and no tolerance for it.
Being an actor, bodybuilder, have you ever faced racism either in your professional life or personal life?
I mean, I'm half Arab. I'm Lebanese, but I've never experienced racism because I'm a white guy.
Holy crap! You know? Sorry.
That's a movie. That's a movie called Johnny and Clyde that I did with Megan Fox that came out last May.
Jesus.
I'm her sex slave.
Where's my picture of Megan Fox? What the hell is this all about? Where's Megan Fox?
Ask Machine Gun Kelly. I'm not crossing that line there.
And by the way, I got to ask you that. What's the deal with that? What does Megan Fox do with Machine Gun Kelly? What is that all about? Come on.
And she's so
got
cool.
That intoxicating vagina.
I don't.
And her little.
Get it, man. I don't get it. She was awesome to hang out with. It was funny because, like, wearing what I was wearing on set, he one day showed up by surprise, and everyone freaked out, and they had to hide me because they were worried he would blow up about what I was wearing with Meg on camera and our scenes together. But she was so cool, like, without him, not doing the weird blood stuff, and You know, like she was normal, and then you see her with him, and it's not so normal.
No, it is.
Well,
Here's
Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina.
That's kind of close. You're right, Daniela. But
Literally, she wore his blood of vial around her neck when they got married.
Here's the obvious question, though, right? You've got a beautiful wife, but does your wife give you a hall pass when you're doing a movie with Meg?
Absolutely not. No.
Will she give you a hall pass for a podcast?
She'll put her foot down through my throat, and she'll be like, "I want to be on set. I'm going to watch you. I know what you're thinking. I know I'm in your head already." I'm like, "No, you're not, babe. I'm professional. It's all good. It's all good." But she will not know. She gets zero. If I'm zero tolerance about treating people right, she's zero tolerance about anything with my career.
Hey, listen.
She's on it.
You could have tried for a hall pass, though. You disappointed me a little bit. You could have asked.
I would. Nope, not my wife. Not that red hot blooded Italian.
He's not asking for an early funeral.
I'm a smart man.
Brett, I want to get into recently. There's been so many up and downs, right, with your acting and everything else, with the strike and all. But recently, you've had some health scares. Can you share with the family what's going on with your health?
I'm going through a little hard time right now. My colon basically is failing. I have either ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. They don't know what it is. We're in this 2-month trial right now because since October, none of the medications are really taking. And I've got 2 months to decide whether I keep my colon or not. So things are kind of shitty, quite literally. And there's pain involved, and there's a lot of sacrifice of my physical abilities are a lot less. I'm totally anemic now. I don't have any iron, so I have to get infused iron, and my workouts are a lot more difficult than they used to be, just in the past few months. But I'm mentally pushing through it. This whole thing about this whole painkiller problem that we have with all this fentanyl nonsense that's going on. Dude, you know what really sucks is when somebody is actually in pain every day and needs a little help, the doctors are afraid to prescribe anything. It's like it's not just it's messing it up for everybody who actually
one bad
needs
apple
help.
Ruins the bunch.
It's so frustrating right now because I have to admit an opiate really helps me through the day when I feel like I have fire in my gut. And the last thing I want to do is go to a black market situation because doctors are too afraid to do this because of how bad it's getting. But it's just so frustrating sometimes.
Well, no, you figure other countries, they make it so it's a lot of these opioid addictions. I remember going to the dentist and getting dental work done, and I birthed 3 children. No epidural, no nothing. I have a very high tolerance for pain, and I'm like, damn. I don't want it. But I'm just saying, now it's our country is before. Here you go. Now, I have a girlfriend who got into a car accident. They're like, oh, they told me to take Tylenol. I'm like, you have a herniated disc. What are you talking about? Take Tylenol, girl. You need morphine. And
that's the thing.
They don't do anything about it.
They don't do it unless you go into the emergency room. And then the first thing that they did was pump me with hydro, the one that's even strong. It was stronger than fentanyl. The first thing they did, and I was like, so if you're in the emergency room, if you're in the hospital, it's okay. And I was doped up for a week straight. I was like, all right, guys, at what point do you say, stop hitting me with this? Oh, you need it. You're in this pain. I'm like, then tell me that when I'm at home too, because I don't.
Because what are you going to do once I leave here? They should honestly enforce things where it's opiate users, anything else, go get blood work done. Let's see if you're really the blood levels are matching up to what you're prescribed. And then start weeding out the riffraff so then it can actually be given to the people who literally need it. I personally am let's just get through the pain. There's been worse things you've been through. But there are some people that it's like, I need to be able to just function, and this may help me function. Even go to the bathroom from point A to point B. And it's like,
I've been that. I'm the same way. I refuse to take any painkillers for. It was a last resort thing, and then I realized I can't even go like grocery shopping. You know, I need to. But I'm good now.
And you would
like,
look funny riding in one of those little carts, though. Big guy like you. Little...
No. The last time I went where I got into a situation, because it's Crohn's, you don't have much control sometimes down there.
No,
and all of a sudden,
godmother has
you just saw this gorilla fly through Walmart. They thought I was probably stealing something. I just barely made it. We'll say that to the bathroom, to the public restroom in Walmart. Yeah, it was a fun trip. Anyway, what are you talking about here?
Games, so don't feel bad.
Yes, it's different from the first interview with you, Brett, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
You guys gotta stop putting up those pictures, because as soon as you do that, I'm like,
yeah. Let's talk about those pictures.
like, God damn, you're a lucky wife. Jesus.
So, Brett, let's talk about the Young Rock, right? It seemed like the show was doing really well. They moved you guys to Fridays, and then it just, I guess, fell off the table.
I know, and I love the Sheik.
They put us on Friday opposite SmackDown. Like, come on. You're going to put a wrestling show against the #1 wrestling show? You're going to lose a little bit of fan base just on live watching. And we were doing well. I mean, the fan base that we had loved our show. And then we did great on streaming on Peacock and Hulu. It's just, I think The Rock was too busy with everything that he's doing.
That man has his hands in everything. Everything. Liquor, acting.
There was too much on his plate, and the XFL wasn't going as great as he thought it would, I think. And then the actors and writers strike happened, and we got just kiboshed.
Yeah, but did anyone ever explain to you why they moved it from Tuesdays to Fridays? I never understood, because you guys were like the highest watched show on Tuesday nights. And when they moved to Fridays, I'm like, what are they doing here? Were they trying to kill the show?
Yeah, that's we're all wondering the same thing, man. We're all on the same page there.
The chicanery. My new word.
What did you? Obviously, it's probably the biggest role you had, or at least the most exposure, I would think. Right. When the show got canceled, how do you keep yourself positive?
Yeah, it was a bad beat. The show got canceled.
There's them damn pictures again. Jesus.
Oh, that mustache.
Stop torturing me, guys.
Thank God you didn't do Brett. Thank God you didn't do porn. If you did porn, forget about it.
Yo, if he had an OnlyFans, I'm subscribing ASAP.
Not this guy. Not this guy. No, as an actor, you know that every role, it's your job is a high risk, high reward kind of situation. If you're going to be a full time actor, it's something you got to commit to, and you got to accept when it's not going your way, and you got to ride the high while it's high. It was a disappointment for sure. I thought we'd have at least 5 seasons. Personally, I thought we had 5. We made it 3. I loved every minute of it, and I can't ask for anything more. It was the family that we made it's unforgettable for me at this point. And to be, to play the Sheik and to have that connection with him before he passed, he loved his family and he loved me playing him. So as an actor and getting that approval, it's the best feeling you can have. And to get the respect from the real Sheik fans And the real wrestlers who worked with Sheik saying, "Hey kid, like you did it right. You're good. You got his act down. To hear that, I feel so grateful and blessed that what I put into it was received that way."
Which is it's funny you brought up the Sheik, obviously. So around this weird wrestling world, per se, the rumors were going around that at some point the Sheik kind of soured on you playing his role, and the rumors were around he was actually giving you a hard time going to signings and that. So I'm assuming that's all untrue then.
I don't know why he complimented him way better.
That's untrue. The Sheik never had an issue. The issue was if I wanted to do Sheik gimmick outside of the show, which I didn't want to do. So there was no real issue. The Sheik, I'm close with his daughter Nicole, and she was like, "Yeah, Dad even said if he wants to show up and be me, let him do it." And I was like, "No, I have no interest in that. I'm Brett the actor." But I got full approval from Sheiky to play him on TV. And when I sign autographs, it's photos of me, signing as Brett Azar, not signing as the Iron Sheik. So there was never a thing there.
How does his death affect you?
It's terrible. I mean, because I got close to his family. I texted Nicole the second I heard, and I checked up on him. He was going through, even when A&E shot that legendary, the Legends documentary that came out a few months ago, he was in rough shape, and she was telling me he was in and out of the hospital, and so they were kind of expecting it but not expecting it. And when it happened, it was terrible, and it was like a triple whammy for me, because it was the show got canceled, Sheik died the next day, and I ended up going to the hospital the next day for my stomach. So it was like a really bad mental beat with that whole deal.
Everything happens in threes. I don't like that. That's so sad.
I can't.
Oh, stop it! You needed estrogen on this show.
You ain't kidding. This is full of estrogen. You kidding me?
Right. You know what? I made a good.
Let me cry.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Brett. What are you saying?
A little bit.
There you go.
Just a little bit. God, I'm a big vagina.
No, I was saying.
I thought I was a hard ass. Softy. You've been through so much, and honestly, and just to see your aura is just so pleasant. You've had the acting career, you've had health issues you're going through right now, but you're still smiling. That's honestly not that.
Well, it's my life was saved by my sister. That's every day I got to make it worth it that she died for my success. So that's the way I say. I'll go through my own personal shit, but you gotta wake up and have a purpose. Otherwise, you're just gonna fall apart. You gotta have some kind of motivation, whether it be for yourself or to better someone else's life. Because you never know. Even when I'm doing autograph signings, you never know just what little conversation you have with somebody is going to change your life, or how much they appreciate that impact. Yeah. But I wanted to say with Sheiky, we were doing the Fox News thing, and they brought up Iran and how that whole prisoner swap thing, and then we gave them $6 billion. I was like, look, if you gave any of that money to the Sheik's family after he died, because Iran loved Sheik, USA loved Sheik, that would be money that would go to good use, and people would be happy. And that was my political statement.
Oh, shit. Here we go. I don't get into politics. I sound like an idiot. I don't even
know what to say to that.
I just smile and nod. It's like Star Trek. I don't know shit about it.
I just wanted to say that government could have given money to the Sheik's family to support his death, and everything would be okay because everyone loves Sheik.
That is true. Everybody did love Sheik. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, that's for sure.
You did look really good as the Sheik, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Legend, Baba. Respect the legend. Yes, Baba. I hear you.
All right, what kind of dog do we have back there?
Give me. Come here.
I feel like it's a Great Dane. Oh no, it's not. I don't know why I thought it was a Great Dane. He's out of
Special appearance.
He's out of American. He's like, just put me on camera, Dad. I got you. I'll pave the way.
Brett, you also make your living by your body, right? I mean, that's an important part of your resume, right? Right.
Where are you going with that?
Well, here's the question.
I pay you.
Being you're going through these health issues and things are a little more difficult right now, do the doctors support you enhancing your body a little bit to keep up the muscle tone that you might be losing because you can't train as heavily as you have before?
Are you talking about steroids?
Human growth hormones, steroids, testosterone, whatever.
It would actually, I mean, I'll be transparent about it. Testosterone replacement therapy, human growth hormone replacement therapy, 100% on the legit, as long as you're not an idiot about it. There's a lot of steroids that you don't need. There's a lot of like extra things that, you know, like the trend and the whatever that guys are taking when they're competing to cut you up or make you look vascular or whatever. But just testosterone or growth hormone is super, super healthy for you when you reach 35, 40 years old. Just to maintain health in general. And I asked the doctor,
I was supposed to start taking that anyway?
Yeah, and I asked them, I said, should I, because I'm on prednisone, because I'm on painkillers, because I'm on this, because my body is inflamed, should I be on testosterone? They said, it'll only help. So, transparent, yeah, I'll get prescribed testosterone now.
Well, that was my concern, being that you were having some health problems. That was my question. Did you go to the doctors and say, hey, can I still continue to do some stuff to, you know, keep myself going a little bit until we get this thing figured out?
No, yeah, they actually said it was a good thing. They were more concerned about the food, because the food is what was destroying my stomach. So the acid, acidic foods, high fiber foods, I had to completely change my diet. So where I eat a lot of mush, a lot of easily digestible foods, but it's the hardest part about this whole disease is my energy. Guys, come on, man! My wife, Linda's home.
Only bitch in here is me.
Linda's home. My energy levels is the worst part. Not having enough oxygen in my blood because I don't have iron.
Right.
I can like fall asleep in the gym, and it's terrible.
The strike is over, right? The actor's strike is over, from what I understand. What's the word out there?
Should I mute?
What? No, you're good. Keep going.
The actor strike is not over. The writer strike is over, but the actor strike is still going, and writers can't do anything without their actors.
Right.
So we need to get going.
Here's a question, and you're an actor, right? And you're living off roles. What is the game plan financially for yourself, right? Because you're on The Rock, you're probably making some decent cash. How do you have a plan like ahead? Like, okay, I'm not really going to spend this money because I don't know if I'm going to get another role for a while. Like, how does that work in the mind of an actor?
I've always been that way. Just the way I was brought up by my mom. You never know when you're going to lose everything. So I'm not a big spender. So I don't really worry about that. But yeah, it's a high risk, high reward thing. I'm blessed because the roles I've played and the jobs I've gotten were so iconic that I can ride it with the hardcore fans of those franchises. So now that I get, Terminator fans and Shiki fans, I can use
Daniela
that small
fans.
bit of use that small bit of celebrity to provide a supplementary
Don't
income.
forget about us little people.
Oh, you're not a little person. You're not a little. I told you, high performance car. That's it.
High performance.
High performance go car.
Stop it, you gorgeous man, you.
All right, Daniela, you got the last question. We're going to let Brett get to his beautiful wife. You're on.
Will you marry me?
Oh, wow. The final question.
I'm taken. Right, honey? Hermes, come say hi.
I can share.
Come here. Come here.
The question of the year.
Come here.
I can share.
Say hi. She wants to marry me. Come here.
Oh, man. You're in trouble. Now you're in trouble.
He's taking
Cat fight.
Oh, she won't do it.
I just got to open you again.
She's in gym mode. She's in
I
gym mode. She
respectfully
doesn't
would
want.
love to be your sister wife.
Sister.
The
Oh, my
position
God.
is not available. Sorry, girlfriend.
I told you. Zero tolerance in this house. There's
You know what?
Even-
That makes me
even-
love her even more.
Listen, I'm a Jersey girl and a hard ass. I'll always give you a hard time.
Yeah.
Brett, you're in trouble. Wow. I don't know. Brett.
He declined
I'm a
me
happy man.
every time. Don't worry.
I'm a happy man. And I'm very much in love.
There you go, brother. There you go.
I appreciate that, though.
Brett, I want to
You're
thank
a
you for
lucky
joining
woman.
us. It's an honor to have you on. You're a great guy. Thank you again so much, bro. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. This is the coolest interview I've had forever.
You're the best,
So,
bro.
thank you.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Oh,
All right, kiddo. That might have been the best final question I think I have ever heard.
So I know I already knew who our guest was, but I don't know, just like, oof.
Let me ask you a question, though. Seriously, you've never said to me, Mike, your aura is just so fantastic.
Oh,
you make me feel so good inside. You have never said that once to me. Good God, kid.
Went through some traumatic shit. I can relate to him. We were trauma bonding.
I've had trauma. I've had trauma in my life.
I feel like I see a hint of jealousy. I could smell it through my phone.
Listen, I had to buy pizza today because I couldn't find enough cash to get a steak. There's trauma in my life too, all right?
Did you say because you're gonna get a steak?
Yeah. I mean, my life's hard also, Daniela. You know what?
Oh.
Jesus Christ almighty.
Listen, without even question, did I say yes to you?
You did. You're my buddy. You're my buddy. I got to tell you, I think at some point I just might watch you interview people because I love it. It's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know, because I don't know a lot of topics. I was like, wait, I was going to ask that question.
I was waiting.
You don't give me the chance. So I throw in my little, like...
You're crying. You're crying. You're hitting on the guy. I didn't know where you were going with this.
Well, don't have good-looking guests, and I won't hit on them.
Wait till next week. I'm upgrading. We went from Jamie to Brett. Not bad, right?
I was watching the show earlier. There was a handsome man on there. I was like, ooh. Why isn't he on the show with me? Why am I not in a little cute?
You're talking about Phil. I think you're talking about... Well, it's either you're talking about Pharaoh, which is probably not, right?
He's always handsome.
All right, look at you. Be Switzerland. Go ahead. You're not very good at Switzerland there, Danielle.
I think he had a beard, maybe? I'm trying to think.
Well, you got Benny Scala, and then you have Phil. You're talking about Phil.
Tall-looking.
Yeah, Phil.
Thin, yeah.
Phil DeCesare. He's a good-looking guy.
He
Good-looking
is a
guy.
good-looking guy. He is. Hi, Phil.
Wow.
Listen, I'm 36 now.
I lost my co-host to Karen McDaniel, and now I'm going to lose my other host to Phil DeCesare. What the fuck's going on here?
No, we just will be in one cube together.
Oh,
wow. I'll perch right down on the lap.
There you go. Wow. Well, I thought Brett was great. What did you take from that interview before we go?
Honestly, that man, he has had such success from childhood trauma and everything else. And honestly, the biggest thing that I noticed, I watched that documentary with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they literally said in it, he had to do all his own stunts because they could not find a man to fit his physique when it came down to Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that. So to then fast forward, and now Brett is literally his stunt double. That's a huge honor. Like, this man couldn't find anyone that was on his caliber to do his stunts in almost half of his movies. And then he takes over for, like, what was it, like 2 or 3 Terminator movies he did? He was in a lot of things. The man has had a great run. I will tell him that. Like, and he still looks good. Like,
he's
definitely
like
fine wine.
He's a good-looking man. He's a good-looking man. He's not.
He is a good-looking man. And as the Sheik, he did the Sheik justice.
Wow. Oh my God. I don't even know.
Some definition and everything. Like things like that.
All right. So here's my question to you. You ready to do another show next week?
Of course. Why? Are you giving me the boot? Are you that mad? Are you jealous?
No, I'm not. No. I want to make sure that you're everything's good. You're happy. I want to keep my co-host happy. That's the most important thing.
Now, I know you're a married man, but guess what? I'm your co-host wife.
That's it.
Happy wife, happy life. That's
right.
all I got to say.
That's right. And you don't bitch at me nearly as much as my wife, so it's a good little break.
Oh, God. I might cry a lot, though.
Great interview. We want to thank Brett Azar, incredible human being. This is Mike Monte.
It's Daniela Petro.
We'll see you next Thursday. We love everybody.